Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Carla Kite and I'm a certified divorce lending professional, otherwise known as a Cdlp. I have helped over 1,000 families with their homeownership goals just in the last 5 years. And I have to tell you, experience really matters, especially when you're dealing with your home and you're dealing with maybe one of the largest assets when you're going through a divorce transaction. So my video today, I'm going to talk to you about what makes me different from just your typical lender. Like, what does this certification, a certified divorce lending professional, what does that do for me and how does that make me any different? All right, let's dive in. Just for a little bit of background on me, I am a lender with 25 plus years experience in the mortgage lending business in the state of Colorado. Over my 25 years, I have helped numerous families with their homeownership goals, whether they are first-time buyers, move-up buyers, move-down buyers, reverse mortgage buyers, divorcing clients. I've helped quite a few of divorcing clients. So I have the experience, my team has the experience, and my daughter is actually my business partner, and she has 5 years experience under her belt, and she is also a certified divorce lending professional. As much as I am going to love and look forward to sharing all of these videos with you, I want to remind you that I am a licensed mortgage lender. I do want to make sure that you understand in any of the videos that I will be posting here that I'm not an attorney and I'm not giving any legal advice, but I will talk about some legal concepts along the way and in a lot of my videos. I'll be posting a new video twice a week and we'll be talking about all of the concepts with homeownership as it relates to divorce. It takes a lender with a specialized certification in divorce lending to really help you and dive in deep with these guidelines around divorce and lending. My team would love to help you with all of your lending needs, especially in the case of divorce. So please give us a call at this number here that's popping up, or you can text us. We would love to set up a consultation with you so that we can figure out what it is about your unique situation, and trust me, every single divorce is incredibly unique. So let me start with telling you that I am not an advocate for divorce. I think that right now, especially because I've been posting a lot on social media, I think even my closest friends and family are a little bit confused about what it is that I'm doing. I hope that after they watch this video, they will understand too. But really my hope with launching this YouTube channel is, I guess I've always said, I wish I could scream from the mountaintops everything that I know, because I think there's so much that people just don't know that they don't know. What I am is an advocate for helping divorcing couples remain in homeownership. I think it is really hard for a divorcing couple, once they own a home, for them to take a step back and become a renter again. Especially when there are children or pets involved, it's almost like you've lost a little piece of freedom, and that can be like a double whammy after going through a divorce, which is already a very difficult life event. Ideally, we help both parties continue in homeownership, whether you're keeping the marital home or you're moving on and purchasing a new home, or maybe you're even selling the marital home and you're both going to move on and purchase a new home. So see everybody, friends, family, all of my social media friends, I'm really not an advocate for divorce. I'm really just an advocate for homeownership. It is so important to me. I'm incredibly passionate about it, and I believe that everybody has to have the opportunity to own a home or to remain in homeownership, even after going through a big life event like a divorce. So while I do all types of residential lending, I'm not your typical lender, because myself and my team help you to structure your divorce. We're not just helping you to structure a loan. I don't think people really understand what we do until they do it wrong. And that's really what's important, because I need to be involved as early as possible so that mistakes are not made along the way. We start with a consultation, which is really just a conversation so I can figure out where you're at in the divorce process and what your end goals are. Once I have a good understanding of what your goals are, I can work within those parameters, and I can work with your divorce team to make sure that what they are putting into your separation agreement actually aligns with your goals. We need to make sure that what you're trying to achieve once your divorce is final, or even sometimes during your divorce, can actually be achieved within those underwriting guidelines. So I work with attorneys, mediators, CDFAs, divorce coaches, and I help them to make sure that what they are allocating as maybe child support or maintenance, we want to make sure that that's being allocated properly so that we can actually give you credit for it as income. Or, maybe we're helping the person that's paying it to make sure that they're not paying out too much and it would hurt their qualification when they're trying to qualify for a mortgage. Often we will see large amounts that are allocated for maintenance or child support, and they're not usable because the way that they're actually being paid out. And sometimes that starts with the separation agreement, and sometimes the separation agreement is right, but you didn't properly execute it once your divorce was final. So some examples of that would be maybe using joint accounts, or maybe instead of paying the maintenance, maybe you're paying some of the school or some other sports fees, and then you're paying that difference out in maintenance. And that's a big disruption, and it's a huge mistake when it comes to underwriting guidelines. Another really good example would be something like this, and I've actually seen this happen before, where a realtor has taken out a client because the client has told them, oh, no, we've settled on a really large monthly settlement for me. I'm gonna be getting like 15 grand a month from my ex, and I don't have any debt, so I will easily qualify for a mortgage payment of $4,000 to $5,000 a month. So in theory, that's very true. You should qualify for that, but not if the maintenance is not being paid out properly. So loans require that you have received the maintenance or the child support for a certain period of time, and that it's also going to continue for a certain period of time after the closing of the loan. And so if that maintenance amount is only allocated for 2 or 3 years, it's not going to be usable at all. So these guidelines will differ from loan product to loan product. And the reason that we're looking at different loan products is because we have to understand what it is that you qualify for initially. So your credit score, your down payment, your employment history, those will all really determine what type of a loan it is that we're trying to get you into. Keep in mind that when we're talking about these scenarios, when you're receiving a large sum of money, there's usually always something that we can do. There's maybe an option that we can come up with, but I want you to understand that it's not always the most attractive loan product. So when we're kind of backed into a corner like that and we don't have time to work with you and make sure that you're on the right path and that you're either paying your maintenance correctly or you're receiving it correctly, there might be loan products that are available for you, but boy, they're not gonna come with the best terms. They're probably gonna come with a higher interest rate and a larger down payment. So really our goal in meeting with you early on and making sure that you're set up properly is to make sure that you are qualified under the best rate and terms possible for the going market. Trust me, this will save you a lot of money and a lot of stress. I teach a 2-hour continuing education class to realtors, and I have to tell you, I have so much content because I have so many client stories and scenarios that I have dealt with that a lot of times I go over time. So while I can't get into all of those in this short video, I do want you to know there are so many small, tiny little mistakes that are made during this process that hinder people from obtaining their goal of homeownership. The important thing here is that your separation agreement is detailed out properly from the beginning so that you don't have to go back to your court or back to your ex and make modifications post-decree, because that is never fun. It's really a waste of time, it's a waste of money, and it can really bring up some old emotions that maybe you were ready to be done with, right? The key to a successful divorce is really an early consultation with me so that I can collaborate with your divorce team. You need to reach out to me early on in the process, and I will stay with you throughout the entire process so that I can help your team negotiate and maybe move around some assets or some different ways of allocating maintenance and so on, so that you can qualify to remain in homeownership. Like I said, you might be remaining in the marital home, or maybe you're moving on to another home. You might even just be assuming a loan where you wouldn't even need my services. You still have to qualify for that. So as a divorcing homeowner, whether you're going to keep the marital home or you're going to move on and purchase a new home, You need to make sure that what you're agreeing to in that separation agreement, one, can be accomplished, and two, that you're accomplishing it at the best rate and terms that are possible. So even if you're planning on assuming your current mortgage, trust me, you're gonna have to requalify for that too. And there is not a Cdlp that's answering phones at your current servicer or that's going to be working on your transaction as you're trying to requalify for that assumption. So far, I've really been gearing this video towards and talking to the consumer, but for those of you that are professionals out there that are working with divorcing clients, whether you're an attorney, a mediator, an LLP, a CDFA, a divorce coach, a CPA, a CFP, I could go through the whole list. There are so many people that are involved on divorce teams, but you guys, you want to make sure that your clients are taken care of too. And you want to make sure that maybe whatever it is that you are helping with and you're interjecting with these divorcing clients that own real property, that it's not affecting their ability to qualify for a mortgage. Or if it is there a way that we can get around it? Is there something else that we can move around so that they can remain in homeownership? It's important that you are referring them to and that you're putting them in the hands of a lender that has this certification in divorce lending. Trust me, it's important. I've held my certification in divorce lending since 2017 without lapse. I belong to mastermind groups nationwide, and I can tell you, I'm even stumped a couple of times a month by some scenarios that I see within our group. It's important because we are constantly staying up on these guidelines as they pertain to divorce. That is our number one goal, and that's what we meet and we mastermind about on a weekly basis. As these guidelines are ever changing, we also want to make sure that our underwriting department is staying on board and that they are there to help and support our divorcing clientele. So I know that many of you that are watching this have maybe been up at night like for the last 6 months or hopefully not longer than that, contemplating all of these different scenarios and trying to figure it out on your own. Please don't do that. Please don't reach out to friends, family, coworkers, social media for advice, because trust me, your situation is unique. I can promise you, everybody's divorce is incredibly unique. So unless, I guess, you're involving them in every single aspect of your divorce and they have a really good, solid understanding of what's going on, they're not going to be able to advise you properly. Make sure that you are reaching out to my team to get a consultation. This is what we do, guys, and we do this really good. This is what sets us apart from your typical lender. Again, it is never too early to reach out to me for a consultation, trust me. But it can be too late. Like I said, going back for modifications is often the road that we have to go down so that we can get people back into homeownership. But boy, if we can deal with it up front, it is much easier and a lot less stress. I hear from a lot of my clients, I wish I would have talked to you sooner. I wish I would have talked to you before my divorce was final. I wish I would have consulted with you during the process. That's really what I do. If you don't know where to start with me. I have some amazing resources. I have worked with some really, really great people in the divorce process throughout the time that I've held my Cdlp. I am a licensed mortgage lender and I would love to help you with all of your lending needs, but especially in the case of divorce. So give me a call at this number or a text. We're happy to communicate over text as well. We'll get that consultation set up, figure out what your goals are, and move on from there. I look forward to sharing with you again really soon.